On today's First Time Buyer channel, we're going to answer a question. Is your bank going to give you the best mortgage rate? Hey, welcome back. Enrique here with First West Financial. I'm a mortgage broker right here in Southern California, and I have this channel where I talk about everything related to buying a home. So if you are a first-time buyer, maybe you're thinking about buying a home, maybe you're doing research, trying to figure out what is the best way to become a homeowner, you came to the right place. Go check out some of our other videos. We have tons of information that is very useful for buyers. And don't forget to hit subscribe so you get updates every time a new video is published. We do this every single week, and we love working with buyers. And today, we're going to answer a question that comes up quite a bit. Now, common wisdom, common knowledge would tell you that if you have a bank where you keep all your deposits, that they're probably going to give you a really good rate on your mortgage. So let's say you bank at one of those institutions that are nationwide, the largest banks in the United States. So you figure, hey, I have my money there. I'm already a customer. They're probably going to give me a discount. Not to mention they are multi-billion-dollar companies. Are they going to give you the best rate? So I'm going to answer that today. The answer is simple, but then I'm also give you an explanation. And better yet, I'm actually going to tell you how to definitely get the best possible rate. So the first thing you need to know is that those financial institutions, the big banks, we call them, they are what we call in our business retail banks, retail institutions. They're called retail because it's like a store. You walk in, you purchase products, you can get a credit card, you can get a checking account, you can get a mortgage, you can get an auto loan, you can get all these things. And yes, they do manage a lot of volume, but typically, in most cases, pretty much all the time, without fail, they're not going to offer you the best rates for most loans, especially regular conventional financing, FHA financing for first-time buyers. They're not going to give you the best rate. Now, why is that? If they're so powerful, if you are already the customer, why is it that they're not giving me a big discount? Well, the reality is they don't have to. They get a lot of business as it is. People walk in the lobby of the bank and they get a mortgage. The reality is that companies like this have a lot of layers of management, a lot of advertising, a lot of expenses. They carry a lot of overhead. And mortgages can be expensive to produce. So they have to tack on all of their expense for running those banks into the cost of a mortgage. So in many cases, they're not going to be your best alternative. Also, if you think that they're giving you a discount because you are already an existing client, they're not going to do that. In fact, they have zero provision. Now, there's a couple of other reasons why you may not want to go to your bank. One of the reasons you would go is for convenience. You are already banking there. Well, here's what you're going to find out. If you go apply for one of those banks, there's not a loan officer there in most cases that is going to help you out. What they're going to do is they're going to take an application. They have a customer service rep at the bank, and then that bank is going to send your application to a processing center where it's going to go through a funnel through a series of different people to get your loan approved. So that can be a little frustrating. It can take a little longer than normal. That's just how they operate. Now, I'm generalizing. Not every bank is the same, but that's usually how it works. So one of the reasons why you also may not want to apply with them is because, they don't offer the same variety of products that other companies, brokers do like we do. They have a 30-year fix, a 15-year fix. They have conventional. Many of these banks don't even offer government loans, FHA with low down payment. They offer the loans that are good for them, that are convenient for them, right? You're also not going to have a lot of transparency when it comes to the fees that you're paying and who's getting paid what. What is the loan officer making? You don't get any of that information. Now, what alternative do you have? You definitely want the best rate. That's the reason why you're thinking about going to one of those banks. If you want a best rate, there's two alternatives. One of them is you can start shopping around. Well, what does that mean? Well, that means you have to make a list of places where you think you can get the best rate. You're going to start on the internet. You're going to call Bank A. You're going to call Bank of America. You're going to call Chase. Then you're going to call Quicken. Then you got to call and call and call. There are thousands of banks, and yes, they're not all priced the same. Some of them are more expensive than others. So when you go through that process, it's not easy because they're not just going to quote you a rate. They want all the information. They're going to ask you to fill out an application or a mini application or an interest sheet. Some of them are going to require to run your credit to give you a quote. So imagine that. You are busy. You're trying to figure out how to buy a home. And now you have to talk to 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 banks and then compare each one of them with each other to see who has the best rate and who has the best fees. A lot of the banks are going to give you good rates with huge fees. A lot of banks are going to give you average rates with some fees. And then other ones, they're not going to charge you any fees, but the rates are going to be higher. So how do you know which one to use? That's option A. You got to shop around. You got to look and shop. Option B would be to let someone else do the shopping for you. Yes, there is such thing, and it doesn't cost you any money. This is where brokers sometimes are going to beat these banks in terms of service and price, is that a broker doesn't just use one bank, doesn't just use one source of money. They're not one size fits all. What a broker is going to do is a broker is licensed with a multitude of banks, and they have software available where they put the parameters of your loan, and in 1 minute, they can get pricing for all different banks. So I'll give you one example. My company, First West Financial, we're here in Southern California. We are approved with a ton of banks. So a couple dozen banks. So I take the information from a customer and I input it into the system and I push a button and it gives me all the prices. I can tell you within a minute who has the best price in the country and who has the highest price in the country, and I can price your loan accordingly. We're also able to tell turn times. So the loans that are priced better, the banks that are pricing better, we also know how long is it taking them to originate the loan, to underwrite it, to approve it. Sometimes being super cheap doesn't mean being super fast. So that's something you have to take into account. That is the reason why you have an alternative. So you can do all the shopping yourself, or you can let a broker do the shopping for you. So if you're going to do the shopping yourself, what do you look for? Well, you're going to be looking for rates and the term of that rate, but you're also going to look to see how much in points is that costing you. And you need to determine what's the difference in payments. So there's a few formulas that you can follow. We would love to help you out, figure out what is best for you, but we can also point you in the direction that is going to work better for you. There's an organization that you can find a local broker in your area. If you go to www.findamortgagebroker.com, you should be able to pull up, based on your zip code, a local broker that is going to have access to all those rates and all that software. That's the beauty about brokers, is that we have the ability to shop anywhere. Like I can tell you today who has the best rate in the country in minutes. So that's the advantage. Now, I'm going to recap. Number one, remember, your bank is most likely not going to offer you the best rate just because you bank with them. Number two, most retail banks are not going to offer a lot of different products and not going to offer you different options when it comes to rates and fees. They're going to sell you what they have available. That's it. Number three, the best way to find the best rate is either to shop around or to talk to someone who can do the shopping for you. And number four, independent mortgage brokers typically have the ability to shop for you within minutes with just one application and one credit report. That's the learning for today. So don't get confused and make sure you get the best possible rate. Talk to a broker. If you have any questions, comment below or share this with someone that you may know may be interested in buying a home. I hope you have a great week and a great day. Talk to you soon.